Welcome to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, Tomb of Annihilation, where everybody today will be annihilated. So,
In a fire of unending burnination.
couldn't have been better said. Thank you, Rorax.
Sulfur and brimstone. Wait, what?
Whose idea was this?
Not it.
Gao.
Everybody pulled the Ulfgar.
I blame the kobold.
Even Gao looks at. Oh,
I look and see I made my thing into a magnet.
Yeah, I see, that's awesome.
represent.
Sadly, it doesn't actually fit onto the screen that I just made, but I could see it. I'm sorry. There you go. Yep, see? Oh,
Very cool.
very simple and elegant. All right. So, hi, everybody. This is Tomb of Annihilation, a campaign where everybody's trying to keep everyone alive. The land of dinosaurs, and we're about to fight a red dragon. So, let's get into the rough end of this. We'll start off with the dungeon master, Kashcah, the Unyielding.
Really gonna, well, I don't know. I feel so. This is the first session where I've actually felt underprepared. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
And by underprepared, she means she's wearing a shirt with a large skull on it today. So.
You want to see?
Mhm. Portents of the future.
How appropriate.
Mm. So we'll go kind of counterclockwise here. If you do hear some snoozing in the background, that's one of our pugs, and I may need to break away briefly during this stream, as she may need attention. But otherwise, at the top right, we have our latest NPC friend of our NPC collective, Gao. A little kobold helper that is currently a turret, as Aelia is calling it at this point, on the back of the Centaur, of which is led us into this dragon's lair very gladly, in fact, and without question. But only after,
Queen.
yes, but only after Gao's friend was bitten in half and partially eaten by one of our party members. But moving on, we will go next to them. Rorax.
Hi. I'm Rorax. I do the YouTubes and the streaming very occasionally, but mostly the YouTubes. I try and do twice a week. You can catch me on RoraxPlays. And I am playing Aelia, the Centaur Cleric.
Yay! With a kobold turret.
With a kobold turret.
All right, next to Rorax, we have Nerevar.
Yeah, that's me. I'll be playing Tobias Salazar, who is a Spacial sorcerer, and he's commanding his Eidolon Arokh Ironscale, who is happen to being a dragon. And to be noted, I also have a Twitch channel.
Indeed, he does. And also, Tobias and Arokh are both solely responsible for the entire group's safety. So moving on, we're going to Kellisto.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure, yeah. Can do.
I'm Kellisto, the Bear God Clan. I am a half-elf druid, and I'm fairly useless, I think, in this next upcoming thing.
Can you turn into a fire newt?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Maybe I can turn into something. I'll look. I don't think so, though.
Turn into something that, like, shoots water cannons. I don't know. Squirtle, squirt.
Turn into
Yeah.
Blastoise.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I could turn into something in the water, but nothing that gives water.
If that's how you're gonna get away, then
elephant.
hey, go for
An elephant, then you can just suction up all the water and just spray.
it.
Do you think a seahorse would be able to do that?
Making shit up at this point.
I don't know. I
Might as
don't.
well.
I don't know that they'd be able to swim up that waterfall, but we'll see. Magic is magic. All right. Next to Kellisto, we have Lyssa.
I am playing Valia Bonesmasher. I am a Lizardfolk Barbarian, and I plan on eating the dragon.
Dragons sure are delicious.
She heard they taste like chicken, and nothing's gonna stop that
And the
lizard.
one that got us into this mess.
How did I get y'all into this mess? Remember, I
No,
was
not you.
MIA?
That's fine. You're not to blame. I'm looking at a particular
The
Druid
brain.
right now.
Oh boy. Okay. So yeah, I guess after Lyssa is little old me. I didn't even want to come to these mines. I don't know what we're doing here.
Wow. Wow, such lies.
But Ulfgar, the character I play, definitely had some involvement in this. Ulfgar Holderheck, a dwarven bard, who doesn't have much in the way of hurting this dragon, especially if it starts to fly. So yeah. He's part of the Emerald Enclave, and currently a large driving force for why they're here right now, and all probably going to die. So hey, let's. Oh, actually, I need to do a little bit of a recap. We went down into these mines, the dwarven mines. We're trying to clear them for the dwarves above that are making us a whole bunch of really cool armor and weapons. And at the bottom of the mine is a red dragon. So we're like, oh crap.
It's just sitting there with its mouth open, waiting for your minecart.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Dinner is delivered.
So there you go, Kashcah. Take it away.
Well, last week you did you killed some carrion crawlers, right, on the way down to so you decided that it was a good idea to kind of fast forward instead of walking down this 40-mile long tunnel to Wormheart Mines. You thought instead, let's do something really cool and jump in these handy dandy mine carts and ride them down. There was a small interruption along the way where Ulfgar decided it would be a good idea to stop and fight some carrion crawlers. So did that. But perhaps a benefit, or it's yet to be decided if this is a bane or a boon. But Gao, a small kobold, was kind of glommed onto the party at this point as well, and has been offering some direction on how to get to the Wormheart Mine, and also revealed, very helpfully revealed that Tinder, a young red dragon, residing in the bottom of the mine, along with her treasure hoard. So Gao has since given you some further direction on how to get there, and you've left the mine carts behind, deciding to finish the last bit on foot. And you enter, the pathway kind of narrows. At one point, it was 2 kind of minecart tracks wide, and there was plenty of space either side. It's gradually become narrower and narrower as you got closer to the Wormheart Mines, and now it's not really even. There's barely 10 feet. Kind of room for the tracks and a little bit of space either side, but there's not much room beyond that. And as we left off last week, you could see the end of the tunnel up ahead. You're down to a single track now. See the end of the tunnel up ahead. There's kind of a bit of a glow coming from the cave beyond, and you can hear as well. And as you get closer, you see a waterfall is crashing down into a pool that is below where the tracks are. So the tracks proceed across a little wooden bridge and then kind of disappear up the side of this cavern. But so that's kind of where we're at. Just walking up to the end of this tunnel. Actually, what I can do right now is move you over to to the mines. So I haven't put you in any kind of marching order, but you can see I have given a little token for Gao at the front. Hopefully this works for everybody.
Sure.
Everybody can see there.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I turned dynamic lighting off to save our FPS, and it was just being a pain in the ass. Let's be honest.
Cool
so yeah, so we've got Gao kind of in front, and you can see up ahead, here's this wooden bridge where the track goes along. You can kind of see that there's a drop. The wooden bridge is kind of elevated, and further below, you can hear very much and kind of see a little bit of the pool below. Oh, yeah, that's a very good point. So the party was traveling with Dragonbait and Artist Simba, and they have offered to stay behind in Hrakhama to help defend it while the dwarves reforge the iron doors to go on the front. And Flippy has stayed behind with them there as well. So that's where Flippy is. Flippy is back at Hrakhama with Artist and Dragonbait.
So we ditched all the NPCs and quickly picked up a new one.
Fair trade.
It's not a party without NPCs.
NPCs/pets/ whatever you want to call it.
I'm still determined to find another Chewinga and make it my pet.
So Gao is kind of pointing up ahead. The noise from the water falling is quite loud, and you can only imagine it's going to get louder as you kind of get closer to the end of the tunnel here. But you can see kind of some of the cavern up ahead. So over to you, players.
Well, I guess with the cover of the waterfall noise, the dragon is probably unlikely to hear us coming, so stealth might not even be necessary, apart from making sure we stay behind rocks.
I could do our paths without a trace for a while.
It may be
not a bad
good
idea.
if Arokh will go first with me.
Well, before you go ahead,
Sure.
I had a quick question about the lighting. I see that you've revealed this area. Is that kind of like the area that's lit up by where the waterfall comes down from above? Like the light source from above? Kind of lights down the tunnels a little?
This is the area that you can see so far. As well, those of you with dark vision, I should say, can see so far. It does. Well, you know what? I mean, there is kind of a glow from over in this direction, and from further up. And you haven't seen like how high the cavern goes yet, because actually you can't see the top of it from the angle where you're at.
Where's the glow?
Sorry?
Where's the glow? Where is
It's
it?
from down here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No
Gal
problem.
mentioned that this was the caldera of the volcano.
Does Gao even use such words?
Gao says, it's a big pit.
The big middle pit thing in the volcano.
Yeah. You do see like this rock is like a giant pillar that goes up. So this isn't kind of a rock just in the middle of the cavern. It's actually a big huge pillar. And you can't see the top of that either at the moment.
Right. So I guess we should determine some kind of marching order, and if we have a scout at this point, because I think we stopped and we were like, okay, we can see something ahead. So
Yeah.
who's doing what?
Well, I agree that we let the Dragon Soul go first.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can go up next.
Yeah, seems to be fond of the idea of hanging back. He's not volunteering to go forward much further.
What, you said
Well,
gal?
he kind of volunteers whether he wants to or not, right? He's on the back of 4 sets of trotters.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'll take up the rear.
Alright. Girl, come in. Like that, I guess.
Okay.
There we go.
Right, so when you get to the mouth of the tunnel here, you do get a look kind of further up the side, and you can kind of, here, let me reveal a bit more of this. You can kind of see, oops, got a bit there, I can go. You can kind of see that the tracks wind their way around this this pit, and the pit looks like it's about 200-300 feet deep. It's quite deep, and the tracks kind of do like a corkscrew up. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. They do a corkscrew up the side of the pit.
So I have to ask, Kellisto, are you using that spell? If so,
Let me see,
I
I
would
don't know.
want you more in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I think that extends out like 30 feet from you or something.
Yeah, so I need to be right behind you.
Right, I will move back. And then you can move in front of me.
All right, I'm in the middle.
Cool.
I'll do the thing.
That lasts for at least 10 minutes, right?
It lasts for 1 hour.
Nice.
Should be more than enough.
Let's hope so.
So everyone gets a +10 bonus to their dexterity.
Stealth check. Okay.
Yeah, stealthies.
So you can kind of see, to describe a bit further, this elevated platform is about 25 feet above this ground level. So it kind of goes and joins up. Here, let me do kind of some of this. So it joins up with the main track that is corkscrewing around the pit side of the pit walls. So, and you can see as well. I guess this is the downside about dynamic lighting, is that you have to remember to actually do this. You can see kind of a couple of openings off of the bottom area of this pit. There's one over here and one up here.
Okay. And we're still seeing a glow down here?
Yep. And you can kind of see now you're coming to the end of the tunnel a bit, you can kind of see a faint one from the other entrance as well.
Quick question. This waterfall here, is that falling all the way from the surface?
It's not. It's falling from maybe about 60 feet up.
And about 25 feet down.
Yeah, and it keeps going, 25 feet down. So it is like, as you get to the entrance of the mouth of the tunnel, it's actually quite difficult to hear each other at that kind of distance from the waterfall.
Okay. And do we have light, or are we required to have like a torch or something like that at this point?
Well, who doesn't have dark? Well, I think
everybody up front doesn't have dark vision.
Right, does or doesn't?
Does
Sorry.
not.
So yeah, I think you can see like the glow, and that's enough. Imagine that it's like moonlight, you know. That's kind of the level of light that it's giving off. So you're still in quite a dark area, but there is just enough light coming from those tunnel entrances to see kind of, so you're not going to like fall off the edge into the water or something.
Okay.
Okay, forward.
Couple spaces and there, so that others can move in front of me.
The noise is at its strongest. Obviously, at the moment you're right next to the waterfall. And Aelia, Gal kind of tugs on you know, some of your clothing a little bit, and points to this entrance here. And he's like making motions like.
Okay. Aelia will immediately tap Ulfgar on the shoulder and report that same thing that Gal seems to indicate that the dragon is coming from this entrance.
Ulfgar will mage hand to Tobias and Arokh and let them know if they turn around, like tapping them on the shoulder with mage hand to get their attention. And then he himself will actually like kind of like make the motion that he was just given by Aelia.
And then he points to the higher entrance, the one that's like 25 feet up over here. He points to that one, and he's like nodding his head.
So that's the escape route then. I pass that information along the same.
I don't know that I have much that I can do with that.
You can do the running man on the spot.
Yeah, I guess I'll just motion the same way or something. Because I mean, we can't hear each other without shouting. And I'm not about to start shouting, so.
So Tobias is doing the motion for the Ulfgar. Like are we going down? Like we are jumping from the bridge.
Ulfgar would kind of like just walk up really close to Tobias briefly, and he would kind of cup his hand over Tobias's ear and talk loud enough that he thinks he could hear him over the loud water that they're right next to, saying that he could probably see the tracks ahead appear to combine, so we could just go to the tracks and use that to come down instead of jumping off of here.
Okay, then, so let's stick to the tracks for the time being.
Then he moves back.
Okay, forward.
If it makes it easier, I could cast heat metal on your sword. It might light up enough that you could see better.
Yeah, and instead hard edge, I'm going to like spongy stick.
So when you get a bit further away from the waterfall, probably kind of where Arokh and Tobias are now, you can both hear the sound of it's like and you heard it way back in Portney and Zaru, you heard some baby dinosaurs, right? And it sounds like a baby dinosaur. And it's letting out bleats as if it's like, calling for a parent, and then there's a thump and a kind of squeal.
Coming from
I look back at Ulfgar and I'm like, a pet.
I think your pet just died.
From what direction did that come from?
You can hear it from both entrances.
So just somewhere forward. Okay. All right.
And you hear it again as well. It's this kind of like soft, like almost like soft moan bleat, like and then another thump, when the thump happens, it's like you hear a screech, kind of a squealing screech.
I'm trying to look over Tobias' shoulder. Like,
Ulfgar kind of shrugs and motions to hurry up.
Okay, so we hurry up.
I lean in. Tobias, is that baby dragon?
Jesus.
Can Arokh be a mommy dragon?
Oops.
Yeah, you better pray there's no hatchlings nearby.
Okay. So when you get to this point, here, let me reveal the rest of this as well. Now you've seen all that bit. Oop. You can see this, this is just the section, just a section off the map. This track actually continues and goes kind of like just around this, like I said, it just corkscrews its way like up the pit. So this is continuing on up, but below it is this, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And we're going around this way, or are we going this way?
Yeah, it looks we have to go like in the other way.
So we're moving further away from the waterfall now. Is it getting easier to?
You can hear things a bit, yeah. There's still this kind of roar behind you, But
there's from this place there's a glow.
Yep.
And so it's from this side.
Yep.
Arokh is going to take a sneak peek right here. And he's going to do it stealthily.
Okay, give me a stealth roll. Okay.
And he gets a +10 to that because he's still.
Yep. So you see a tunnel leading forwards.
Come on, you didn't think it'd be that easy.
You hear an echo coming down the tunnel. Get out.
Yeah, he's going a little bit further.
And you definitely hear, now kind of going into this tunnel, you hear the baby dinosaur noises much clearer. Okay.
Like, I just tell Tobias, what is it? Can you see it?
I think that Arokh is supposed to recognize if there were a hatchlings or a dragon squeals.
This sounds definitely like a dinosaur, not a dragon.
Okay.
I just like clap my hands silently, like, yeah, baby
Meanwhile, Ulfgar's picturing baby dinosaurs being eaten one by one.
Aelia is imagining fully grown dinosaurs.
Okay. So when Arokh kind of gets to the corner where he's at now, you can see like you can kind of see like over here, right? That there's a drop. So the cave floor kind of continues and then drops off, and there's the light level is definitely is definitely increasing, kind of over in this direction.
So it looks like glow coming from below.
Yeah, and you also see over on this wall, there are 4 pegs in the wall, and hanging from those pegs are some masks, 4 ferocious-looking wooden masks, and 4 capes made of scaly dragon hide that's dyed bright red.
No capes.
Yeah,
no, I have nothing interesting.
And you can hear, well, give me a perception check actually for Arokh.
Okay, here we go.
You hear the baby dinosaur noise again, and it's the thud is like it sounds like something big hitting something big and fleshy hitting a stone kind of surface.
I just pushed Tobias a little bit. Come on, I want to go in.
Just don't be so hasty. Yeah, Arokh is going very slowly, proceeding
Okay.
through the cave. Very
Then-
cautious.
Now Arokh can see. Does Arokh have dark vision? Well, actually, no. It doesn't matter because the glow is very bright in here. You see, Tinder. Oh, who you can only assume to be Tinder. And you see her playing with her dinner, basically. She has a baby dinosaur, and occasionally the dinosaur is letting out these kind of calls for a parent, and when it does, she bats it. Like she's like a giant cat with a ball of wool, she's batting this baby dinosaur, and baby dinosaur.
What
Okay,
kind of baby dinosaur?
Not dead yet.
Yeah, Arokh is going to he's going to stop, and he's going to try to go and fall back very quietly, and seeing that Tobias is going to stop Aelia from going in.
Actually, could I have a stealth check for Tobias and Valia as well, if you're kind of going in the tunnel, please? Unless you're not being stealthy, in which case.
Yeah.
Way to go, Lyssa.
You
Okay.
still have my +10.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a little handout for a red dragon?
Oh, I do have a handout for. I made one because roll 20.
Does this happen to be the dragon we saw in the distance when we were at Crack?
There you go.
Most
That's
likely.
Tinder.
I couldn't remember the name. I remember they told us the name, but I couldn't.
Yeah. if this is that same dragon, yes. Yeah, Tinder. How big is Tinder?
I think it might be.
How big is this dragon? Well, actually, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not there.
Yeah, it's very hard to bite my tongue.
I would assume I'd see these like outfits on the wall though.
Yes.
Are the outfits close to where we are?
Yep, they are right. Oh, hang on. I've got the wrong tool selected. They're right here. You can see one of the pegs, right?
Yeah, I see that one, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab one of the masks in the cape.
Okay.
I'll just hold it up to Tobias and shake my head, yes.
Ulfgar would very quietly talk to Aelia and ask if he could find out what these masks and capes are about from Gao.
Gao.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Ulfgar says there are capes and masks up ahead. What are
He motioned to them.
They are for when we pay tribute to Tinder. We must don ceremonial robes in order to appease Her Majesty. To appease her. He says she does not like to look on plain kobold faces.
Gao can see a scowl through the back of Aelia's head. Or at least he can feel.
In the meantime, I'm putting the mask and the cape on, and I'm like doing this weird dance in front of the
Does it even fit you? If it's made for
the
kobolds?
cape is a little short. And luckily they're fairly they're not, particularly tight fitting on the kobolds. And the mask is like this big kind of ferocious thing. So the mouth isn't quite lining up with where your mouth is, but it doesn't, it's to fit your face is a little slightly different. So it doesn't line up exactly, but you can see kind of well enough out of the eyes.
Did Ulfgar relay that they were dragon scale?
That's right. You don't have dark vision, do you? So yeah,
I'm also like behind a rock.
He actually wouldn't have probably mentioned that. He just would have kind of motioned to them on the wall up ahead.
Yeah, Aelia hasn't even started going into that little cave yet, as you can tell from Token.
So Ulfgar's like looking ahead at the rest of them, like kind of giving a shrug. He doesn't know what's going on.
Can you see me at this point where you are?
He's trying to ignore you for the most part if you're trying to do some kind of dance with that stuff. If anything, he's probably doing what he can to try and muffle whatever noise you might be making with this.
I'm like, do you want me to go talk to her?
He's confused. He's like, talk to who?
And I just point.
So Ulfgar kind of takes a half a step up and sees if he can see any better or what's going on.
I don't think, you can't see Tinder from that angle.
Right. So he kind of puts his hand on Tobias and kind of obviously there's some kind of glow or light coming from that area. So he tries to like give it an expression on his face, like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's our host right here.
And
I'm like, what are we supposed to be doing with this? I mean, like, watching her? We're supposed to kill her?
We have to get rid of her somehow.
I mean, she's just eating. I don't see what she's bothered.
Ulfgar kind of motions for people to come back out of that area. He's like, shh, shh, shh.
It's at that point you hear a big cry
Aww.
as Arokh sees Tinder eat the baby dinosaur.
Rip, my new pet.
If it was a trike Kashcah, I'll never forgive you.
Wow! Divorce papers on the way. Wow.
I just never have to know, right?
Ulfgar never saw.
Excuse me. So Ulfgar's still like motioning for everybody to come back out of the hallway there.
I'm just watching the dragon. I'm just like,
And he's like, so was that Tinder that's up there? And he's saying it really hushed tones. Obviously, I'm not, or else people won't be able to hear me. So.
Yeah, it looks like it's hair in the flesh. So how are we going to play this out?
Well, can we cave the ceiling in on top of her?
I'm like, I can talk to her.
So Aelia pipes up and says, so Gao was right, this is the safe entry? Or safer?
It would appear that she's just in that next room. I didn't get a look myself.
Aelia kind of ignores Ulfgar and looks at Arokh.
I was like, oh.
What did Arokh see, Tobias? I've been back here the whole time.
Oh, that's her. Answering.
Yeah, that's the dragon, but what's the layout of the room?
Yeah, it looks like there's elevation right here at this entrance. And further down here, she is laying on top of the horse.
And you do occasionally hear like this. I mean, imagine somebody pushing like a giant mound of coins. You know, you kind of hear this like somebody stepping on that kind of. So hear these noises occasionally from.
That must sound incredible.
Scrooge McDuck style.
Yes.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings when he's in there with the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Slithering around.
Did you see any other passages?
Well,
not sure. I was too focused on the hair that she doesn't, and hoping that she doesn't spot me.
Because thanks to this foolhardy plan of Ulfgar's, we're gonna need a plan B.
I kind of whisper. I was like, well, she just ate, so if that's any consolation,
there's always room for Dwarf.
Yes.
Ulfgar says,
differ in your diplomatic tendencies.
In my defense, I wasn't anticipating a red dragon. I thought we're on a bug hunt here. Getting rid of a few fire
Yes, but you
newts.
weren't exactly turned away when you heard that there was a red dragon, were you?
Well, I can't be held sure for everything that I may hear from. And he kind of like looks over at the kobold.
Yeah, I'm just peeking around the corner with this stupid mask and this cape on, talking.
So Aelia's gonna probably catch a glimpse of that and see the scales.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna ask Gao the question she was burning to ask in meta. Are those capes fire?
And he says, well, they certainly help.
Let me rephrase that, Gao. When your brothers are burnt to a crisp, is the cape left?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Ulfgar says, "Good thinking."
I got the idea, but we may resolve this somewhat peaceful with her. He's referring for our discussion from the meeting with Gao, sort of speaking, that we might convince her to join the order on my behalf. If that doesn't work, then we have no choice just to slay her. Or the third option is we can just turn away.
I mean,
Would
it just
Arokh
seems a
be
little
doing
mean.
the negotiating? She looks to Arokh.
Not much that I could do, but for the most part, yeah.
Ulfgar pipes up at this point and says, "Now, I'm not doubting anything you say, but I also have to say, of all the stories that I've heard, not one ever was talking about a successful negotiation with the Red Dragon."
I feel there's doubt.
But there's always room for a new story.
Are the stories true then, that there's only one color more evil than?
Sure. Search me.
But either way, we need us forge a very solid plan if you want to do this.
I can tell you right now, she's not gonna leave. Her horde is there. She's not gonna leave them behind. If you know dragons, they will not leave their horde.
Tobias is pointing in the direction of the rails that goes down, and asks Gao, "This leads to the Tinder's chamber as well?"
Wait, show me which one you mean.
This one.
So that leads down to kind of the cave floor, and like you see these bits right here, like here, like these bits. These are like giant wooden kind of the thick wooden poles that are holding up this wooden elevated track. So you could like walk under these because there's a 25-foot height difference between this track and like the floor of the cave, right? So
yeah, just because I'm assuming that this
like that.
Yeah, you could walk under.
So this just leading towards the Tinder's chamber.
How big was that chamber? Because if she can fly, I feel we're at a disadvantage yet again.
Aelia pipes up. Maybe I should do the scouting.
Ulfgar is just like kind of curious how so many people are interested in scouting. He's usually the scout. He's just kind of like, all right.
Well, being the bit of a survivalist as a nomad, she's used to finding plans B through Z. She's a little bit frustrated at the lack of information everyone got after piling in that.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm just sitting there concentrating on keeping us all quiet, stealthy and quiet, going, "Oh my gosh, please make a decision."
Aelia's gonna creep up here. I guess I'll have to do a stealth.
Yes, please.
Please no. Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You feel super stealthy.
Oh, great.
We could also see what's here.
I'm going to move forward again. I'm going to move up to here so I can see into
Mm-hmm.
the cavern.
Yep.
How
You
high is the cavern from...
Oh, that's
like,
a good question.
we're on an elevated platform here. How high is the roof above us, and then how high is the roof above her?
So there's a 25-foot difference between the cave floor that you're standing on and the cave floor that Tinder and her horde are on. So this drop right here is about 25 feet. Then up above you, it probably goes another 20 feet. So there is a, yeah, I mean, and it gets kind of even bigger over Tinder. So you think the total height of this area is probably like 60, 70 feet.
So just so I'm following, it's kind of like this is a side view. Oh, the paint is not staying painted.
Yeah, I was having a problem too.
Oh, maybe because it's in a hidden spot, because I can see like 2 green lines.
Okay. Well, if you can see it. No, it's not working. I'm going to go back to freehand. I'm going to do it in the bottom right corner, Kashcah.
Okay.
So the profile view is kind of like this, if this is the ledge.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that's like 60 feet here, and we've got like 20 feet of headroom. Okay. And then Aelia's going to look in the other direction, away from Tinder.
Okay.
And can she see either of these passages?
Yeah, you can kind of see like into this one. This one looks like a dead end. This one you can see like this chunk of it, but you can't see like around the corner without venturing further.
Okay. And how tall would you say Tinder is?
She is a little, hang on one second, actually, let me look at
Actually, maybe I should do a perception check for that. For an accurate figure.
She's actually like, she's not as big as an elephant. So she's not, let's see, she's obviously bigger than you, right? But she's not like as tall as an elephant. I'm trying to think of a good analogy as far as size goes.
When you say an elephant, you mean like a bull, right?
Yeah. What she's a bit bigger than, like, you know, the big draft horses. She's kind of a bit bigger than that. So she's pretty bulky, but she's not as big as like something like a big bull. She does have like, you can see her wings are very long, and they have this kind of they go to like a blue edge on them. So up by the kind of bone structure of the wings is this brilliant red, and then it kind of fades back to this blue kind of edge, and the edge looks reminds you of like metal that's been heated, you know. So it's that kind of color.
That's frightening.
Let me think what else about her. Her scales are not bright red. They're kind of slightly duller. But that's kind of what you might expect for a dragon who's, beginning to age.
Right. So Aelia makes a bunch of hand gestures to Lyssa, which Lyssa does not understand, except for maybe one of them, which kind of looks like she's pointing back out of the cave. But then Aelia does the weird thing and goes in the complete opposite direction to where she was. And she's going to try and get across the cabin to here.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Yep, she doesn't seem to notice you.
Okay.
At this
What do I
point, you
see
can
now?
see she's kind of pushing the coins. Like it's like she's building a nest. Like she's kind of pushing the coins out, like to
It
make
would be
like
cute if not terrifying.
divot in the center for herself. So you see another dead end.
All right. So I'm gonna head back this way, hoping for no re-stealth check, and I'm going to try and grab the rest of the last 3 capes off the wall, and put them onto my arm carefully and quiet. And if there's no problem there, I'm gonna continue out of the cave and kind of like physically push Lyssa the other way.
Right. Yeah. No need for a second stealth check.
Okay.
1 is good for that period of time.
While all that's going on, Ulfgar would just take a peek up where the yellow arrow is, just to see if that goes anywhere of consequence, but still staying within about 30 feet of Kellisto at this point.
So that continues. The track continues on up around. There is like a section just ahead where, instead of being on like a stone shelf, it looks like at some point that chunk fell away and has instead been replaced by kind of a wooden structure that the tracks go over, and then goes through like a little tunneled area, and you can see further up around this stone pillar in the center, kind of let me draw it very poorly. Kind of going around like this, like that. There's a wooden structure that's built up to there's a little bridge that comes out from kind of the side of the wall, and there's a wooden structure that goes around the pillar up there. But that's make a perception check, see if you see anything else.
Ooh. Okay. Hold on.
Erase my.
Perception. Go. There you go.
Okay. So you see there's some kind of mechanism up there, because you see some ropes around, like that are fixed to the stone pillar.
Ropes affixed to the stone pillar?
Yeah, there's some kind of mechanism. It looks like a rope kind of goes to the pillar and then goes off to the side again or something.
What does the rope look like? Is it supporting something, or?
Yeah, you can't see that from here.
Hmm.
You can't. It does like almost an L shape. It goes out from the wall to the pillar and then back.
Does it
to
look
the wall.
like a super thick rope, like it's a structure rope, or does it just look like a rope, like a person would use to climb?
It's a pretty sturdy rope.
He'd come back and say, "I just want to have a quick peek up here. I'll be right back." And then he'd move forward very carefully so that he could try and figure out what it is that's going on with that rope.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna reveal a bit here. So here's where you see like the wooden structure. Okay. Then it kind of goes into a tunnel again. Can you see that? Or
Yes.
okay. So how far are you heading?
Just to try and figure out that rope. Unless I feel that I'm like in a dangerous spot or something like that, then I would stop going forward.
Okay. So here, let me do a bit of this. Here's where you see like wooden bridge up around the stone pillar, right?
So that's sort of like here-ish,
Hang on.
practically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then here's where you see the rope. Or actually, you might not be able to see that. Do you see the rope or no?
No.
Okay, hang on. Oh, really? What?
Accidentally deletes rope.
Oh, it helps if I have the select tool selected. There. Do you see the rope?
Yes, I can.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. And it... Would I be able to figure out if these tracks, I'm going to draw a line, kind of go through the rock face and then lead up to this platform?
It certainly looks that way.
And I still don't see where the rope goes.
Not without like going here, because you can see this kind of below, right? Not without going kind of much further around, because it's like up above you, basically. It's kind of up above and behind you.
Okay, silly question. If I were to head back here, would I be able to see that rope much better?
You can see it, but then it's definitely up above you, right?
Okay, all right.
If Aelia can see Ulfgar, she's gonna motion to come back.
He'd come back at this point, and I think you'd be coming back at about the same time. So he'd communicate what he saw. The track winds around. There's a platform up there, some kind of rope. Not sure besides that, but it appears that it keeps going up. That might be the way that she gets out. Because I don't think she goes through the mine all the way back through the Dwarven Hold.
Right, well, she certainly doesn't get out through her cave, Aelia says. And while she's saying this, she throws a cape at Ulfgar, one at Kellisto and one at Tobias. And then she says that your question was if she could fly in that cave. I don't think she could fly, but she could certainly launch. And there's about 60 feet of room above her and 20 feet in that area that we've been into, and there's no way out of that place we've been.
There was no other entrances into that cavern?
No, there's a couple of divots, but they go no.
Okay.
And then Aelia turns to the three of them and she holds up her shield, but then she explains, put your capes over your arms like a shield because they're too small for you to wear. And then she shows them some basic like shield holding. So she's basically teaching them to use the cape like a cover.
So wait, like I'm putting a buttoned shirt on backwards or something, or
No, you've like got the cape draped across your arm and you're holding it in front of your face.
Oh, well, Ulfgar would basically
like
he'd more or less just put it over his shield.
Right.
So
the shield users would be fine, but I'd tell Tobias and Kellisto.
So who's got the capes, I guess?
And how many were there?
I don't know.
There
I
was
have one
4,
on.
right?
Oh. No, 4.
So Lyssa, Kellisto, Tobias, and
let's see, what kind of icon would be appropriate for this?
I know, I'm just looking,
A
going.
bullseye, that would be appropriate, right?
I think I'm just going to use this little shieldy guy, right? So, Ulfgar has one.
Yeah.
Sorry, who else has one?
I have one. I also have a wooden shield, so I'll just put it on the shield.
Okay.
And Aelia, you have one?
I do not know.
Okay. Who has the fourth one? Ah, okay. Got it.
I wonder, we're going to need some sort of distraction, but we haven't decided which way we will be going.
So now I'm going to pipe up a little bit. I've been concentrating on keeping us stealthy for all this time, but I'm going to be like, so are we going to do this? Are we going to attack it? Because if we do, I might be able to do the little lightning thing to start off.
Do you think you'd
Aelia,
have enough space in the room she's in? Or do you think we need to lure her out here?
As long as I have 10 feet, I think.
Well, you've got plenty of that in there.
Hang on, where did you planning on luring her?
I think we
up
fight
here.
her in that cavern, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ulfgar, out here, she's going to have the advantage.
Yeah,
I was more meaning in these tunnels. But then, I guess that does line us all up.
That'd be easier for her to pick us one off one by one.
Okay,
So that's true. I hadn't thought of that. I was more worried about the flight, but that's an even bigger concern.
Okay, let's...
Well, like I say, she unlikely to be able to fly, but she could certainly launch at us. She's got plenty of wing space.
The other thing
Okay, let's... Okay, go on, Kashcah. Go on.
Oh, sorry. The other thing you notice about this area here, this room, the light that's coming from this room, there's a few, a couple of kind of pools of look like molten rock. They're kind of, crusted around the edge, but the very center they look like they're kind of molten rock, and they're about like football size, like soccer ball size.
This was the previous party.
Well,
if
so
we're...
that's
So I guess we asked Arokh, do we try diplomacy first, or do we...
We might try. There's nothing we can lose.
Well, should it go bad,
she's-
I don't
we
know that
have
we'd
a-
be able to clear the distance because there's a drop between us and her.
Hear me out. We could do this way. Arokh, and Gao, we could arrange some sort of audience, so to speak.
Get me out of this. You just hear
Quiet.
Gary, oh, I
Quiet.
don't want to. Get me out of this.
Quiet you.
Quiet you.
Gao, I promise if you don't participate, I will kill you.
Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Trust me, you're much less damned with us.
Yeah, like I said, the three of us, we can go on this elevation and try to speak with her and do some sort of pertraction on the behalf of the order. And you could go around and sneak right behind her if things go wrong. In that way, she will not have the advantage, and you'll be able to do sneak attack if necessary.
How would I sneak around her? There's no other way in besides where this tunnel here that I know of.
I suspect this track down here and this cavern are connected to the chamber where she resides.
What track?
This one. I'm pointing this track that leading down.
Oh. Oh, you're thinking here. He kind of like... I'm going to have him come back, actually. I realize now he's like too far away. Easier conversation. So he's kind of like, he'd walk up to the edge here and say, you mean down that way, as he's pointing. I've got a little arrow on the screen.
Yeah, we can. If something goes wrong, you can attack, and let's hope for the best.
Says it.
Now, Gao, I have a very important mission for you.
Oh boy.
Looks
You're
worried.
going to act as a diplomat.
Oh god.
You're going to take Arokh into the chamber. You're going to introduce Arokh as a friend. And then after you've introduced them, for your safety, you're going to return out here. Understood?
Okay.
Okay. I'm handing him my cape.
Can I have cape? That's good.
Okay.
Did you understand your job, Gao?
I do. He's so reluctant. You
You
also
will be rewarded.
he says, I think I might die. At this point,
Remember, return as soon as you've introduced Arokh.
from the cave behind you, where approximate Tinder's location, you hear these great snores, and it's followed by wafts of this sulfurous smell, like so it's like snore and then sulfur. Yeah, she seems to have had dinner and taking a little after dinner.
Aelia looks at Lyssa and is like, wow, you were actually right.
Yeah, I like taking naps after I eat things that make me fight them, to eat them.
Kitty. Alright, so who's staying up here and who's going down there?
I'll stay out here to collect Gao once he's done.
I'll go down. Who's coming with?
Kellisto, Valia.
We've got the top ledge party and the bottom ledge party.
I'm like, I can go down, but can you speak Draconic?
I can understand it if needed.
Are you talking to Tobias or?
Yeah,
Ulfgar?
Tobias.
Hello. Of course I do.
I guess I'm
Say
going
it.
down below.
I'm pretty sure the dragon doesn't speak common.
It's good to have company.
Hate to die alone.
Right.
Oh.
Alright, I will move further down this tunnel at least.
I'm
So
supposed to take out the cave.
Alright, so Valia, are you staying up or down? Hey, I saw that.
I didn't.
I still have this cape and mask on, so I don't know. I guess I don't know who's staying where.
Currently, Ulfgar.
You are
and
going. You are
Kellisto
going down.
Okay. So it's Tobias, Arokh, Aelia, and Gao are the top party. Everyone else is bottom party.
Sounds right.
This is really weird, but we're splitting the party. to fight a red
Yes.
dragon.
We'll join again soon. Don't worry.
In the ashes at her feet, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's tactical. We're preparing an ambush.
This might be the first time you've actually been strategic about
It's
about
gonna
wandering.
be a stomach party. Don't you
Like,
Ulfgar
more
does
or
say,
less- more
just
or less
remember one
strategic."
thing before I go. When you're presenting yourselves out there, don't stand too close to each other.
Not sure.
Did he
I got us covered.
Then he like, maybe she'll become undead and just puke us out and just be zombies.
Ulfgar kind of gets this like look on his face, like, "Oh God, I hadn't thought of that."
Let's get the show on the road.
All right, so I suggest the top party get into your positions before stepping out, and don't move until we can get into our position, because you won't have cover of Kellisto.
With that, Aelia's gonna kind of move to press up against that wall there, ready to act if she hears something go wrong.
Everyone needs a Kellisto for a blanket.
Okay.
My only
so
use.
for the bottom party, could you make stealth checks for your movement around to the other tunnel entrance?
I tried. I am not granting anyone any kind of bardic inspiration because it's too loud.
Well, I will say you have advantage because you are kind of moving through the waterfall area.
Well, we've got Kellisto still maintaining her spell as well.
Mhm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to.
So then we get down to the bottom, and I'd imagine we'd be able to see that this tunnel there, we'd be able to travel over there without any issue, like barricades or anything like that down below.
Yeah, once you get around here, you can see that it does, in fact, connect up.
Okay.
You can clearly see kind of the glow, that you saw from the higher. Is the same kind of. Okay.
So how are they gonna know that we're in position?
I just asked them to wait a minute or two, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Valia, could you make a stealth check?
A successful one would be ideal.
No snake eyes, it'll be fine.
I think it's fine. Unless she would roll a 1.
Okay.
Big ol' sneeze.
So as far as you're aware, the snoring is still continuing from in the chamber ahead.
Yes, it is. Lilo snores.
So, yep, you seem to be successfully stealthing your way there.
Okay. Top party, go.
I think it's been long enough, Arokh.
Indeed.
Where's my worry stone? I need my worry stone. There we go.
IRL Vallen is getting very anxious.
Aelia helps Gao off her back and proceeds to start untying his legs, and then but while she's doing that, she says to Gao, "Now Gao, I hope you know who your queen is, and I want to hear it."
He says, when I'm talking to her, it has to be her.
That's fine, but just in your heart, I want you to know who your queen is. And I want you to tell me right now.
Of course it's you, Your Majesty.
Excellent. So you're going to be greatly rewarded for helping us. So make sure you get in and out with Arokh, introduce him, and then back out to me.
What's his name? Arokh. Okay. He's like, he's like panicking a little bit, like he's totally gonna flub this, and for a stealth mission. So
Okay.
Gal kind of
Off you go.
hops away and kind of stops here, looking back, waiting for to join him. Okay. Then you see, so Gao now has this like big wooden mask on. And it's like, it's kind of like a mask. It's like grimacing, and looking very ferocious. And it almost looks quite ridiculous actually, because now what he does is he drops to all fours and assumes a very kind of prostrate position and crawls forward. He's not trying to be stealthy at all. But he crawls forward out of kind of the tunnel and moves up here. And you hear everybody hears the snoring kind of stop, and a voice in Draconic, a great kind of deep voice in Draconic says, "What do you want, worm?" And Gao says, "Your most titanic blazing majesty, please forgive the interruption." And you can see, if you're kind of peeking around that Valia, you can see that Tinder has kind of raised her head and she's propped herself up and she's looking up on the ledge at Gao. And Gao says, "Thou unquenchable, unenduring furnace, please allow me to introduce Arokh, a friend." And then as soon as Arokh's there, he like runs away, and he literally stands up, like just runs out of the room, and at that, like Tinder is up and she's like standing up on top of her hoard, her pile of treasure, and her eyes narrow as they look at Arokh, and Arokh can see that her eyes are like these kind of, they look like pools of magma themselves, and they're kind of narrowed at you. Arokh says, "Who are you in Draconic?"
Arokh introducing himself as Arokh Ironscale, one of the dragons of the Order of the Flame.
She says, "This means nothing to me." This is all in Draconic, by the way. She says, "Do you have tribute? Is that why you're here?"
Not necessarily. I have a proposal.
She's waiting. She just waits.
A proposal that might eventually expand your horde.
She laughs and says, "Why would you think I need help with this?" And she kind of like takes one of her claws and like just runs it along the coin, and this like like stream of coins kind of rolls away. And you can all hear like the ding 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 of coins like just kind of rolling down this mound of treasure that she has.
Don't you want to keep this treasure safe?
She says, "I already am."
Really? Do you? What if the dwarves come back? What if some sort of master of magic warlocks will find out your lair?
She says, "The dwarves did come back, and I made short work of them." Haha, get the pun. Short work of the dwarves.
That was good.
Best dragon, 10 out of 10.
Very punny.
So you are thinking you are good on your own?
She
You'll be
says,
able...
"You insult me.
Oh.
I do not need your help or anybody else's," she said. "I think you've come here to die." And she's standing up, like, even more proudly now. She seems to be kind of leveling herself, with the rock. Make oh, hang on, we don't have diplomacy anymore, do we? Make a persuasion, I think. Is the diplomacy?
Yeah, it is a sort of diplomacy.
So persuasion. Yeah, make a persuasion check.
Yeah, persuasion, deception, intimidation. I think those replace it, and maybe even performance.
And Arokh in response, I faced death many times. So that's nothing for me.
She seems to kind of hesitate for a second. She looked like she was ready to eat you as for dessert. But she seems to kind of hesitate for a moment. And
she noticed the all the metal bits.
Perhaps. She said, she looks at you quite curiously and says, "Where are you from?"
From land far from here. And I wouldn't be dead. Or at least in state of no death. But now I am just a shadow of my former self.
She says, "And I should follow your lead because of this?"
No, because of this. Just because you will share my fate.
She says, "Get to your point. I am losing patience."
I'm offering you a proposal to join the Order of the Flame. The Order will promise to keep you and your horde safe in exchange for a service.
What service?
The Order is alliance between humans and dragons to keep the land where I came from safe.
She laughs again, and it's this kind of it echoes around these caves. And Ulfgar, you're suddenly very aware that that this is making a lot of noise. Because she laughs quite very heartily again.
It's probably the first thing that he actually understands of the entire conversation as well.
And says, "An alliance with humans is preposterous." She says, "They are sniveling creatures, barely worthy of paying tribute. I would sooner ally myself with kobolds."
So you don't underestimate them.
She says, "I suggest you leave now, while I still grant you safe passage."
So just in case there's any confusion, I never had cast the Comprehend Languages spell, so I'm still just hearing it in Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Is that a pretty tall rock right there?
It is. You could hide behind.
Can I try to hide behind that?
Make another stealth check.
You're lucky that Kellisto is still there too.
yeah. And she is. Yeah. Okay. She does not seem to notice you yet. She says, "Time is running out. Arokh, Order of the Flame."
Does Arokh see me?
No, if Tinder doesn't see you, Arokh definitely doesn't. No offense, Arokh.
Yeah, no, I was just checking. Okay. Well, I was just thinking in my head, this is going nowhere. She's not going to take the offer. I mean, why? I'm thinking to myself, like, going over these scenarios, if I was a big dragon, I wouldn't take his offer either, because look at all the shit that just like, like, to myself, like, I got these four-legged creatures that I can eat at any time that bring me money and everything. And I'm just thinking in my head, I told them talking to her really, probably might not work.
I have to say that if Ulfgar would have seen Valia start walking forward, he would have like carefully nudged Kellisto to walk a little bit further forward too, so that we could, unless she like charges in, but just to keep an, if possible, an eye on where she's going, so that we could try to keep tabs on the battle to come.
And she you see Tinder just kind of casually like flick her front paw, and let's actually put this on the map, because it's probably gonna be, I can never remember how. Wait, I think I draw like, is it Alt to draw little ellipses? I think it is.
By the way, if anybody wants to move their character off of a square so that it's like wherever you want to move your character to, you just hold Alt while you're moving your character.
So in that little red circle, you see the rock kind of begin to glow red hot, and then just kind of, like it's like a bubble popping, like a really big bubble popping, and it pops in and becomes magma, basically.
Yeah, very impressive.
Waiting for Tobias to like make
there's nothing that could convince you? Nothing at all?
She says, "You're asking..." She actually, she says, "I will never align with the... They fill my belly better than they do by friendship."
Tobias is turning to Aelia. Oh, this is not going well.
Okay.
Did I hear him say that? Or they're probably too far away for me to hear.
Yeah. If you could hear it, Tinder could hear it. So.
Sure.
Aelia will kind of gesture to come back if he can. If she's interpreting a dragon face as worried.
He's even looking over there.
She says, "Last chance, Arokh."
Fine. Let the gods take a pity upon you.
Oh, it's all.
I just I get myself ready to attack.
Aelia's gonna lean down to Gao and say, "Gao, I want you to run to safety. I don't want you to have to be a part of the..."
So Gao, in what is probably the most generous gesture of life, and the most generous thing he can ever think of doing, takes the cape off and the mask off and hands them to you, Aelia, and then bolts. He basically runs around the corner, and is gonna continue kind of up. You see him running like up here. Basically, runs up the.
Well, I actually got a little information from that. That's the way out.
We're gonna move him. So he disappears into the tunnel.
Let's see.
Aelia's gonna hand the cape back.
Thank you.
To who? Tobias?
Mm-hmm. And then she's gonna tie the mask to her flank. Her foreflank, that is.
Okay.
Nice souvenir.
At the corner here, can I see that? Is it open or is it just closed?
Wait, sorry, say again.
The corner down here in the far.
You can see perhaps a little further, but you can. Oh, that. Why is that? What? Hang on.
You were clicking on the rope last, I think.
Oh, there we go. So that's about as much. So you can see. There we go.
Okay. So I'm just waiting. I'm looking around and I see Tobias walk off. I'm just like, I'm debating if I'm gonna just jump out and start attacking this dragon on my own.
So I don't know that anybody could see it until he draws attention to it, but Ulfgar would at this point probably be sweating bullets. Like, he is actually he was all trying to beef up his gumption to do this and stuff. Not entirely sure he's got it in him. As much as I, as a player, want him to just charge into this dragon and take it down, I don't know that that's what he would do. He would probably see if he could try and motion for both of them to come back out and be like...
we are waiting for a fight, or either you go back to us. It's up to
lower. I think Aelia and Tobias would discuss that they are not the best ones to make the first move.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting and I'm getting antsy, so I guess I get the element of surprise. I will rage and I'm gonna run out and attack them.
This whole time,
I'm just gonna scream as I rage. Attack the dragon!
This whole time, Callisto is just like ignoring Ulfgar, waiting for Valia to start it.
You probably didn't even turn around. You probably were just eyes on her, and he's like,
pretty much. Like, yeah, go!
Okay. So yeah, Tobias, Arokh, and Aelia, you hear Valia cry out, battle cry, in common. Attack the dragon! And
all right.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
Aelia's gonna
more
bolt
profanity,
in. She's gonna use her. I think that's her full. Yeah, she's gonna use her full movement and bolt into here. She's gonna start preparing a spell to cast.
Okay. Valia, make your to hit. Here we go.
I forgot we fixed on my. Okay, I am raging.
Yeah, look at that. Woohoo! You're biting a red dragon. How rare is that? Come on.
Taste.
First attack.
Okay. That hits.
There's the second.
Okay.
outraged as my bonus. I'm just tearing in claws, digging in as much as I can, and just biting into this.
Meanwhile, Tobias, seeing Aelia charging in, he's going to mount Arokh and he's going to charge as well.
Okay. All right. So as you were prepared for this, I'm going to give a surprise round where you get to kind of take an action to movement, and then Tinder will go, and then we'll start initiative order.
All right.
That's her dead lunch, by the way.
Oh yeah. Baby Dino.
We're doing it, folks. We're doing the D&D. Look, I even wore my red
D&D.
the red dragon.
This is a dungeon and a dragon.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Valia, as you like run towards her, by the way, it's like running up sand a little bit, running on these coins, you know. It's like,
Yeah, I figured I was gonna be a little slippy.
but it's also like, oh, look at all the money.
Yeah, we do have a bard, so no seducing the dragon. We're gonna kill this one. Sorry.
It's funny. Everybody told me that I needed to start seducing the dragon. I'm like, no.
Maybe next time.
Okay, so we have a surprise round, right?
Yes, you do. You are
Okay,
doing a coordinated attack.
Tobias is going to for guiding bolt.
That does not hit. Sorry.
Okay, and either way, his Arokh is going to carry him right down off the ledge.
Okay. Okay.
Alien's going to Sacred Flame.
All right, very good.
No holds barred now. That's not a pun.
Oh, she fails. Okay. She takes 7.
And then she's going to Bane the dragon.
Okay, nice.
We need all the stuff we can get. Come on, Bane.
Cast at level 1.
Enchantment.
Charisma saving.
I don't imagine a very, very evil dragon has a lot of charisma.
Have you seen the pictures of Tinder?
Yeah.
And it's
yeah, she has to beat a 15 inch.
Okay. Alright. Kellisto.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Torn whip.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if I wanted to turn it into something or. I think I'll start with the Thorn Whip.
Are you gonna try pulling the dragon?
No.
Yank her
It
chain?
doesn't even get to her anyway.
Oh.
Unfortunately, no. And Ulfgar.
Yeah, I don't think that your flame blade's gonna do too much. Just like my heat
Nope.
metal doesn't either.
Do you want to do any of the bonus actions? Sorry.
I don't.
Okay. Ulfgar.
Excuse me. Oh, it's 50-50. One of these two options. Oh gosh. I guess.
Aelia's also going to shout, by the way. Ulfgar, I need slow fall.
Oh shit. Well, that's doable. All right. All right, he's going to hold off on that option. Ulfgar is going to start his counter charm. And let's see. Yeah. And he's going to keep an eye on Aelia. He is going to move a little bit further forward. There we go. And then basically he starts doing like a dwarven chant, and everybody feels a bit more, everybody that's close enough to hear him, which is like within, I believe, 30 feet, feels a bit more emboldened, is all that ends up doing, which actually I should click on him and get his initiative for you as well. And then he's going to cast, what was the bonus action? Oh no, he is actually, as part of it, he's going to sound his horn and give Valia inspiration. And then he's going to watch for Aelia and use his reaction to Featherfall should she decide to take a running jump.
Okay. Alright, so you're holding Featherfall, you've inspired, and you stay where you are?
And I'm using my counter charm right now, which actually I will put that on the screen here in just a moment.
Okay.
There you go.
Man, look at those initiative rolls.
We are a speedy bunch.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. All right. Thank you. All right.
Yeah, she was very surprised.
We got everybody? I think so.
Flippy.
I feel like Flippy would have been in the most danger, looking the most like.
Yeah, like what just got eaten.
Yeah. Right. So Ulfgar, back up to you again.
Right. I'm continuing my action with that effect. And what other bonuses do I have? Oh god. Nothing that's needed just yet. I hate to waste the turn. Dear God. I wasn't anticipating to get a double turn.
Expect the unexpected.
So that's his action. He can't hold a bonus action. So he's still just going to hold his reaction for Aelia. Same exact thing. And yeah, there's no real good spot for this. So I guess he's going to try and move around here.
Okay.
I think, I just want to make sure. He should be able to reach her, but no, he's not going to go quite that far. He's just going to go just around the corner here.
You still have a short bow.
He does, but yeah. Anyway.
You should take a crossbow before.
He's got a short bow. All right. That's it.
So wait, what did you? So you moved?
I moved. I'm maintaining the counter charm, and just waiting for that the reaction. Actually, I'm giving another inspiration to Kellisto.
Okay. Right, Tobias.
I'm going for the guiding bolt again.
Okay.
But I wanted to cast on the second level. Hang on. Spells. Guiding bolt, higher cast levels, 1+1d6. Okay, that should be good. But why doesn't it tell me on? Is it on higher level?
You have to click on the word guiding bolt, and then it will ask.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Huh. Well,
So I think I'm just going for additional d6 if it hits.
Yeah.
It does not hit. Or it hits and just kind of like almost like rebounds off her scales. Like there's no like significant impact, so it doesn't get beyond her natural arm.
Okay.
Okay. Aelia?
Aelia is going to charge, and that is a actual thing. So she's going to charge straight towards our dragon friend, Tinder. And she's going to two-hand her spear into her face.
And that's Featherfall being cast.
Okay.
And that was my reaction.
That definitely hits.
Oh, whoops. No, that did the... What? Oh, I guess it works. So... Yeah,
Okay.
so 10...
Okay. She's kind of reeling a bit from all this like sudden aggression that's popped out of the tunnels.
And I guess I'll Sacred Flame.
Okay. She gets hit. She fails again.
Yeah, so that was 16 damage.
Okay. Wait, 16, you said?
16 so both 5 in this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yep, thanks. Okay. Kellisto.
Yep. Let's try it again. Oh, man. Yeah.
Dang.
That's not good.
That's not ideal.
That misses, unfortunately.
That's because you're staying in front of a wall.
Well, I meant to move out. Sorry. I forget. Can I... So, shape-shifting is an action or a bonus action? Do you remember?
I think it's an action.
Okay.
Right,
That's fine.
One's an
I'll
action.
look it up and then just for the next round.
Okay. Right. Then Valia. Back up to you.
Okay, let's see here. I guess I'm going to attack it. Why not? We're gonna bite it some more. Can I use the inspiration on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that hits them.
Just click the button.
Oh yeah, I forget. Sorry, I forget that you fixed it for me. I'm sorry. I need to get rid of my shortcut stuff. Okay. It hit either way, so there's the first.
Okay.
And there's the second one, which misses.
Boo.
Then my bonus is my unarmed attack. Which I don't have set up on here. I guess I have to do it the other way. Oh,
That misses.
Okay.
Okay. So you've all kind of been able to find, there's been a lot of kind of, you've been finding weak spots in her scales and making some damage by taking advantage of those. Arokh.
He's going to plunge forward and he's going to use bite. Nope. And then he goes for claw. Also no.
Okay. So it is now her turn. So she lets out a huge roar that just echoes through the cave, and actually you feel the floor of the cave tremble beneath you. And so I need everybody actually to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Can I use my luck with?
You can, yeah.
It's 13.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay,
Oh, it
so
was nice knowing you.
so Aelia, Valia, unfortunately still, and Arokh are the ground shakes so much beneath your feet that you're knocked over. So you kind of end up on your backsides a little bit. So you're kind of knocked over. The others, you're able to kind of steady yourself enough that you're keep your balance. And then she's going to bite. So she's going to bite Valia. So ignore the ignore the crit because she doesn't actually crit.
So does 15 hit?
No, 15 does not hit.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to. My mouse is freaking.
You darn lucky.
Frustrated by this, she's also going to claw at you, Valia.
Nope. I'm just like, haha, haha.
Feeling
She
lucky,
does get
bunk.
just get 2 claw attacks. I think she finally lands one.
Oh.
And that is her turn.
17 damage. We got
Ulfgar.
way easy on that one. Ulfgar maintains the counter charm, but he also, because it's just it's not actually casting a spell, it's just an ability. He also uses his bonus action to cast Healing Word on Valia at level 1. So, give me, and that's all I'll be doing at this point. So you can go on to the next person while I roll that.
So make an intelligence check.
Okay. There's an intelligence. Oh boy. Here we go. Give my big bonus. Do I get negative numbers? No. Actually, I did good.
You think that you don't feel afraid even without the counter charm.
Okay. He'll end the counter charm. I would assume he'd figure that out this turn, so he's not going to take a different action. But he is still going to cast Healing Word on Valia.
Okay.
Ignore the to hit because it doesn't take one. Just need to click. Whoops. Level 1. Actually, I'm going to cast it at level 2. Boop-a-doo. There you go. 6 points of healing back, so you're only down 11, Valia.
Yay.
So Tobias.
And I'll move out of the way.
Are you moving? Sorry.
Yes. Moving over here.
Just let me figure out if I'm going to do this. Okay, guiding bolt times 3. The third time is the charm, right?
Baron.
Oops. Nope.
Doggone it. If you get the hit
What's
with guiding
frustrating is it's a +5 as well because of the proficiency.
And also, if he were to hit with Guiding Bolt, then that helps the next hit.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Wow, someone would have given you inspiration.
That would be a good idea.
What, I've given 2 people inspiration already.
Okay, then he is going for a stab with the dagger.
Oh dear. Dagger stab.
Oh,
Hey!
you're able to-
Why it have to be like this?
That's also a good thing because if you're melee and I'm raging, you get a bonus anyway. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
You're able to
that
find.
was a crit? No, that wasn't.
It was you rolled an 18.
+2. Okay. Yeah.
You found a small sliver between two scales and plunge your dagger in. Okay. Aelia.
Is it an action or a bonus action to get up?
It is half your movement.
Oh, okay.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. So I'm gonna get up. How do I remove ores? Because this is happening.
Oh boy. I think you just click it again. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Oh, you're no longer.
So I am going to cut
I didn't mark that spell off to do that.
my ultimate spell of ultimateness.
This one. Oops. You
Spirit
have an
Guardians.
ultimate spell of ultimateness and you haven't used it yet?
Oh, you've seen it before.
Oh yeah, Spirit Guardian.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
These guys are fantastic.
they're so
And
cute.
then as
I
a
want one
bonus
as a
action,
pet.
and then as a bonus action, she's gonna set her spear because I took a level in fighter last level. And if